Beloved, welcome home again. Welcome to episode 8 of The Frequency of Enough. In the last episode, we explored the courage required to live as your real, unedited, unnegotiated self. And today we step into the part of the journey that shakes the foundation of your life. What happens to your relationships once you stop chasing enoughness? This episode is honest, it's liberating, it's clarifying, and for many of you listening, it will explain chapters of your life that never made sense until now. Let's breathe together and begin. Section 1. Your energy sets the terms. When you stop chasing enough, your entire energetic posture changes. Before, your relationships were shaped by overgiving, proving, self-sacrifice, emotional caretaking, shrinking, shape-shifting, prioritizing others over to your truth, tolerating too much, apologizing for existing, accepting crumbs as if they were blessings. Your energy said, I will earn my place here. But when enoughness becomes embodied, your energy shifts to, I belong simply because I exist. And beloved, that shift creates a tidal wave in your relational world. Because you are no longer seeking worth, you are bringing worth. And not everyone knows what to do with that. Section 2. There are 3 categories of relationship shifts. When you stop chasing enough, everyone in your orbit responds in one of 3 ways. 1. Some relationships deepen. 2. Some relationships rebalance. And 3. Some relationships dissolve. Let's walk through each one. Category 1. Relationships that deepen. These are the connections that were always rooted in authenticity, even if both people were still learning how to embody it. When you stop chasing enough, these people celebrate your boundaries. They feel relieved you're not overgiving. They meet you with respect. They feel inspired by your truth. They become more honest. They feel safer around you. They rise with you. These relationships grow richer, more spacious, more balanced, more intimate. The real you activates the real them. These are your people. Category 2, relationships that rebalance. These are the relationships that were built on unconscious agreements shaped by the identity you are now outgrowing. When your enoughness rises, you stop doing their emotional labor. You stop rescuing them. You stop tolerating what drains you. You stop shrinking. You stop over-explaining. You stop apologizing for truth. You stop softening your boundaries. You stop being their safety net, and suddenly the dynamic shifts. Sometimes these relationships survive. Sometimes they expand beautifully, but only after every unspoken rule collapses. For these relationships, the message becomes, we can continue, but not like this. Some people adjust, some people resist, some people grow, some people freeze. But this category, this is where the recalibration happens. And category 3, relationships that dissolve. This is the hardest one to talk about, but the most freeing one to understand. There are relationships in your life that were only possible because you did not feel like enough. Your lack of boundaries were their comfort. Your overgiving was their benefit. Your silence was their stability. Your self-doubt was their leverage. Your shrinking was their space to expand. Your exhaustion was their convenience. When you stop abandoning yourself, these relationships no longer function. Not because you're difficult, not because you're changing too fast, not because you're being selfish, but because the old dynamic is no longer available. A relationship that only works when you're unhealed was never love. It was dependency or convenience or comfort or conditioning. Let it fall away. Your enoughness will never cost you the relationships that were meant for your wholeness. Section 3. The grief and relief of relational transformation. Here's the paradox. When you stop chasing enough, you experience 2 things simultaneously. First, deep grief. for the connections you hoped would rise with you but didn't. And 2, massive relief, because the connections that remain finally feel authentic. You are no longer performing your way into belonging. You are no longer holding together relationships that were never reciprocal. You are no longer accepting emotional scraps. You are no longer abandoning your soul in exchange for temporary comfort. For the first time, every connection in your life begins to match your truth. This one is the greatest gift of stepping into the frequency of enough. Section 4, the new relational architecture. Once enoughness becomes your foundation, your relationships reorganize themselves around new principles. First, reciprocity. Giving and receiving become balanced. 2, transparency. Truth becomes safer than pretense. 3, respect. Your boundaries are honored without negotiation. 4, presence. You engage with people because you want to, not because you need to earn your place. 5, sovereignty. You allow people to carry their own emotions, their own growth, their own responsibility. And 6, authenticity. You show up as your whole self, not a curated version. This is the new relational architecture that emerges from enoughness. Your connections become cleaner, your energy becomes lighter, your love becomes deeper, your interactions become honest, and your inner world becomes quieter. Section 5, the embodiment practice. Place a hand over your heart and close your eyes if you can, and whisper, I release every relationship that required my self-abandonment. Take a breath, then whisper, I allow relationships that honor my truth to deepen. And finally, I am worthy of connection that aligns with my enoughness. Feel the resonance, feel the clarity, feel the truth. Your relationships become healthier the moment you do. Beloved, when you stop chasing worth, your relationships become mirrors instead of survival strategies. Some mirrors reflect truth, some mirrors reflect growth, some mirrors reflect endings. But every shift, every transformation, every recalibration is guiding you toward a more honest, more peaceful, and more aligned relational life. In episode 9, we explore the life you built when enoughness is your foundation. Because once you stop performing and start living from inherent worth, your entire life blueprint changes. Until then, honor the relationships that rise with you, bless the ones that fall away, and walk forward knowing enoughness doesn't just change you, it changes the world you allow around you. I love you. I see you. I'll meet you in episode 9.